Round the world, girl, I've been looking for you. I think I might just find you in Africa.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Guye and you're watching Guye TV. So today this video is a chit chat, get ready with me, but it's a little real. So I'm definitely gonna put like the age restriction on this video. So like 13-year-old kids aren't watching this, and you have to be signed in to watch. But yeah, so I'm gonna get ready and we're just gonna chat. So this chit chat get ready with me is gonna be just about some things that I want to talk to y'all about, because I am a Twitter stalker. Not saying I stalk people's exact pages, but I do, you know, I like look at what my Twitter is saying and what majority of people are talking about, this and that and whatever, right? So I'm an avid, I guess, yeah, Twitter stalker, just of the app itself, not people. But I see a lot of people, women specifically, being shamed for maybe sleeping with too many guys, or quote unquote, I see how guys are saying like, oh, she's not wifey type if she has had more than so-and-so partners, or you can't respect a girl who has done this, that, and the third. And so I just want to talk, like, something that I always talk about my past, but I never like go into depth. So this might be kind of in depth a little bit, not all the way, but I started dating when I was a freshman in high school. Like a real boyfriend was 14 in high school, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. No idea at all. I had a boyfriend and we dated for 2 years. Woo, child. Almost dropped that on my white carpet, almost cried. And he was my first everything, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, I'm not about to sit here and talk about what, when, who did what. And I was just young and dumb. Like I wasn't really close to my parents because I was more afraid of them than anything at the time, which I like wish I would have like opened up more. Like my mom is so kind, you guys. Like she's almost too kind to the point where I'm like, I'm terrified to tell her like stuff, because I'm just like, her heart, like her beautiful like soul. But yeah, so I experienced very young, and even after that I still well, I was the oldest girl and I didn't have an older sister, so I was just calling the shots, you know what I mean? Like, hey guys, sorry to interrupt. If you like what you see so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the squad. If I felt like no one really told me, I guess, the rules of the game. Not saying that there is a game, but like I was intimate really early on in my life, and I just didn't know like how a man should treat you, and if somebody's taking you serious, and what it is to make sure that, you know, someone is taking you serious before you go and lay down with them and whatnot. So I was just doing a lot of stuff, really not asking anyone, because the people around me were the same age as me, and the people older than me, honestly, looking back, they had no idea what they're doing. Like, the only reason I was even like into it at such a young age is because the friend group I had were we're all doing it, and they were just like, oh my gosh, what, you haven't done it yet? You know, like the typical high school peer pressure my freshman year. And then I got a boyfriend, and then it was just like everything just happened really quickly. And I remember like when I was in high school, because I had a best friend, her name is Maggie. I mean, she still is my best friend, but like we were like, yeah, we're never doing it until we're married. And like, you know, like that's exactly like, first of all, when you're in an African household, you're scared out of sex. You don't have a sex talk, you don't have any sex anything. So it was kind of like, you know better. That's it, that's the sex talk, don't get pregnant or you gotta go. But basically it was just like that was the sex talk in an African household. And I never really asked anyone else about what to do, how to do it, like should I have waited, nothing. So that was a pattern, and that was something that like was a weakness for me for a long time, because I would be with someone or I would sleep with them thinking like, oh, then they're gonna like me, and this is, if I do it then they're gonna like me more. Like just dumb stuff that like no one ever said, was like, never told me that was like, you know, just because you sleep with someone doesn't mean they're gonna like you or treat you better or respect you, whatever. And I just kept giving that chance like multiple times, and yet like nothing good ever came out of it. So I started, like I said, having sex very young, and it continued and continued and continued, and it got to an extent where people were like calling me like, oh, she's a hoe, she's this and that. And it was crazy because I'm being called a hoe, but I'm like, nobody really sought to ask me like why, like, or even wonder like, I wonder why she acts like that. And very young I looked for, because me and my dad were not close when I was younger, so like I always like looked to men to kind of fill that spot. Not saying my dad was not in my life, because he was 100%. Like I grew up in a 2-family household, mom and a dad and my siblings and stuff, but the like friendship that my dad and I have now, I did not have when I was younger. So I sought that in other men, thinking like, oh, you know, if I slept with him, he likes me already, then that means he's gonna like care about me, or how he treats me is gonna change. And girl or boy, that it didn't change. I was still treated less than, and the more and more kept happening, the more and more like my self-esteem just went down. Like I felt like the ugly duckling. I felt like nobody was gonna love me, and like how I was treated was what I deserved, you know. So once your self-esteem is that low, like nothing matters. You're gonna continue just basically self-destructing and doing what you know, like, because no one's showing you that you should be treated better or any different. And that just like brought me into like problems with a lot of other women. And there were some situations, I'm not gonna lie, where I was in the wrong, because my insecure self didn't see that like I was hurting somebody else while doing whatever. And then there are some situations where it's like so misunderstood, and yet I was still being called out as like, you know better. Y'all, I didn't know better. Like, if I knew what I know now, like, hold me accountable 100%. I know better now. Today, Guye now knows better. But back then, child, I didn't know. I was just trying to fill my void of not having a lot. Just, okay, example, like, you know how people drink to get rid of their problems or to forget? Mine, I would just indulge in men. Like, not saying I'll just hippity happen, but like, if a guy is like likes me, I'm just like, okay, let me entertain him, let me just do whatever. And it just like put me in a lot of turmoil with myself. Like, I was ashamed like, let's say, okay, I would like talk to someone or be with someone, and then like we're messing around and whatnot, whatever, and afterwards I would go home and feel like shit. Like, I would go home and feel like crap, and it wasn't because like I just beat myself up. I'm like, this isn't like me. Why am I doing this? And instead of drinking, I was, you know, and I'm not the only one who has this problem. Like, I peep, and I've seen a lot of other people who have had the same kind of escape, I would say. Like, that was my way of forgetting, you know, like release, stress release, whatever, and whatnot. So I just went through a lot. Like, me and men are, it's like something I'm still trying to heal from, and it's not an easy like fix. There's a lot to go through, and even starting with from like certain relationships where I was just treated so badly, and that stuff sticks with me. So nowadays I'm a little meaner, because I'm just like, nah, don't come with that BS, because I've just been through so much that like I can't do it anymore. But the moral of the story is like, sometimes girls look like or seem like they're hoeing or they're hoes or they do whatever, and y'all don't know what's behind that person, what they really, you know, going through, and you over here just like calling them names, not knowing like that's like harming the person also, you know what I mean? Like, to you it might be like cute and funny, like ha ha ha, she's a hoe, blah 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 blah, and you're hurting the girl even more. And to me, like, when people used to say that, it used to be so hurtful, but now it's just like, okay, what's next? You know, like, give me something credible. Like, if you don't know me today, if you don't know anything about me today, you don't know me anymore. You know what I mean? But that was just really, it's really toxic to call people things that you don't understand. Like, a girl could be a hoe because she and this is not making an excuse, but I'm saying there's a story behind anyone who does something that you don't understand or you're not quite sure. And someone who may have sex with a lot of people, like, they could have grown up like really not having any guidance or not know that this is not what you're supposed to do, like, or they could have had dad issues, you know. And like I said, these are not excuses, but these are like real life things that people really need to be aware of, because you're calling somebody a hoe and you don't even know that person already feels like shit about themselves. They already don't like themselves, and you're just adding on to it. Like, thank you for just making me hate myself 1,000 times more, and I have you to thank for it. And that's just gonna make me go back to exactly what I was doing. So I've just like, and I've had multiple times in my life when like I got stressed, like I didn't care. It was just I needed what I needed and went and got it. And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but that was like a demon that I battled with for a very long time. Now, no, no. I make the decisions, and I'm just not there anymore. But it took a lot of learning to love myself, learning to say no, because after my sexual assault, like I had such like it took my power away, and I felt like I couldn't say no. Like, I've already been violated once, so the no was not there. I would just freeze up. I would just be like, well, it already happened to me, so what's the difference if I say no now, you know? So just like a lot of stuff that went into it. And social media has a cute way of telling us what we need to be like, how we need to be, but it's like, you never walked a mile in my shoe, you don't know me. And this is like stuff I've never shared with anyone except my best friends, like 2 girls that like know this, but it just felt really important to talk about, because I know I'm not the only one that struggles with that. And you can start saying no. Like, it's your body. You're more than welcome to say no, and no one can tell you otherwise. So yeah, it just frustrates me when people like want to label people hoes, but it's like you don't know their life from the next person. Like, just like you don't know Beyonce's whole life, you don't know my life. You could have known me in the same town, been friends with me at a certain time, but it's like you'll never know the whole picture, you know, because people keep a lot of stuff in, and I'm definitely one of those. Like, I keep a lot of stuff in, and that's okay because not everybody needs to know everything, but people just really need to be aware of that. And girls who do struggle with that, like, I feel like y'all should speak up. Like, say something. Don't just be like, oh, like, they're calling me this, whatever. No, homegirl, say something, because you don't want to keep self-destructing. And then there are those guys that are like, oh, you'll never get married because you done whoop whoop de woo. Like, are you my husband? No. So sit down. That's what I want to say sometimes. Like, I'm like, whatever y'all saying has nothing to do with me, because at the end of the day, like, you're not the dude marrying me, you know. And my husband is gonna have no problem with my past, because that is something that will be discussed. Like, it's not like you go and marry somebody and you hide your past. Like, there's absolutely no way, because it'll come up. It will definitely come up, you know. But I think people just really need to be careful, because you never know what goes on in somebody's life. Like, we all have our own battles, our own demons, and we have to be mindful of that. And I think I've always grown up really sensitive to other people and their problems, but like, it's because I have had my own, and it's hard to tell people, like, that's not something you want to discuss with somebody. But it's real. It's so real. So social media, it just cracks me up because it's just like, dang, like, I so relate. But also another thing is people beating themselves up for their past. That's something I am the queen of. Like, I used to beat myself up about everything. What I did last night, what I did, should have done this better. I should have spoken up for myself. I shouldn't have been so weak. I should have done this. I should have done that. These people are going to think I'm like this now because I didn't stop this. Or just a whole lot of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the queen of beating myself up. Now I could give two shits. If I did something now, it's probably because I wanted to. It wasn't a mistake. But I'm still learning. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying like, oh, like, I'm good, I don't make mistakes now, I'm holier than thou. Like, no, like, I still mess up, but just know, like, you can't hold yourself accountable for who you were before, because so much changes and so much has changed, and you have to appreciate who you are today, the person you become today, and that's what really matters. Your past things, like, honestly, sweetheart, take your time and work on it. Like, no matter what it takes, because I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter how crazy it looks for you to work on you and to forgive yourself and to heal yourself. By any means necessary, do it. If you gotta cut off all your friends, baby girl, do it. If you gotta isolate from your family, do it. If you have to tell your parents some really uncomfortable stuff, do it. Because you need to free yourself from the bondage of your past, because you will never move forward if you don't. Like, there were times where I would just see myself as like useless, like, no one's ever gonna take me serious, nobody's gonna want me because I've done this and that and that, and I haven't always been a good friend, and I have just done some dumb stuff, right? And I'm just like, why? If I continue to see myself in this same perspective, I'm never going to allow people to love me. I'm never going to allow myself to love anyone else, because I perceived myself as damaged for a very long time. And I walked around just like that. And like, what you put out in the world is what you get. So I got a lot of damaged people. You know what I mean? And there are some girls who haven't had to go through what I did, and I would envy them. And sometimes, like, back in the day, I'd be like, why am I not the good girl? Like, I used to have a best friend, and she was like near perfect. She didn't have body counts as people like to care and count about. or whatever, and she just did the opposite of what I did, because I was the mess, you know. And or it'd be like girls that end up dating guys that I dated or used to talk to, and they treated them so good, and that same guy didn't treat me like that. And I'd look at myself like, what did I do different? Like, why couldn't I have received that same love or that same action or the same care? And it was just, I used to just beat myself about it, beat myself up about it so many times. And I just had to say, you know what, like, yes, they treated you like crap, but that's not you. That doesn't define you. Your next relationship shouldn't be like that. And if someone continues to try to treat you like that, dip, leave, find a new relationship, or confront, you know. And there have been some exes that I called, like, have called and been like, why didn't you treat me this way, or why was I treated this specific way? And they would tell me, and sometimes it was just both of us being young and dumb, but I always took it as they didn't see worth in me. So I always took it upon myself to say, like, maybe they didn't see worth in me because of all the stuff I've gone through. And sometimes that wasn't the case. Sometimes it was just they were young and dumb too, and learning on their own, and they thought being the player was cute. But I always took it upon myself to beat myself up and say, like, it was my fault, you know. Like, they treated me this way because I'm not wifey type. And I've had guys in my life always say, like, they always believed in a wifey type, and the wifey type was the good girl. And those, oh child, let me tell y'all, like, this stuff about the good girl, the wifey type, whatever, like, beat me up so bad in so many ways for so many years. Like, I didn't felt like I had no self-worth because I wasn't the good girl. Maybe I had sex with more guys than the good girl does, and I just didn't act like a lady, and just dumb stuff, y'all. I'm telling you, stuff that now I look back and I'm like, nigga, no. And it just sucked that I ended up perceiving myself in a way that was so negative that it, like, took over everything. I just had a hard time, a really hard time. But the whole good girl, bad girl myth, I don't believe in it. Like, guys have, and I'm gonna use celebrities for an example because those are people in, like, whatever everyone can see. There have been women who have done a whole lot of, who are married, happily married to some fine, loyal men, like, and they're okay with that, because I've realized, and I've grown to know, a real man, a man who wants you and wants to pursue you only, doesn't give a shit about your body count, doesn't care about what your past was, doesn't care about who you messed with 5 years ago. Nobody, he doesn't care about that, because he sees something in the woman in you now. Something about you is, like, is so special to him, and he wants to get to know that and honor that. So, like, whatever y'all, because I know I'm not the only one, y'all could put your Sunday best on, but I know, and I'm not shaming anyone. I'm just saying, like, yo, it's real, and we have to acknowledge it. And when you don't acknowledge past hurts or past demons and why you did stuff before, it haunts you later on. You will not be able to have a successful relationship until you talk out and you accept those demons and be like, this is where it stemmed from. Go back to that place and figure out why it made you feel worthless, and those actions that you may have done because of feeling worthless. You know what I mean? Like, figure it out so you can move on, you can be happy. Like, last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year I met someone who totally changed my perspective of, like, of my worth and who I was, and just saw me for, like, the goodness of my heart. Although I've done dumb shit, but, like, he just saw me for, like, the goodness of my heart, who I was, like the person that people didn't allow me to be because of my mistakes, and they held my mistakes against me. So I wasn't able to grow. I wasn't able to blossom because I just felt like I'm the fuck up, and I'm always gonna be the fuck up. So I felt like no one's gonna give me a chance because I always fuck things up. I'm that girl who people can't trust, and I'm that girl who this, that, whoop, whoop. But like, no one ever took the chance to be like, dang, what if she's really going through something? You know, like, who is she really? Like, my childhood friends, like my best friend Maggie, who's known me since I think I was 5th grade going into 6th grade. She's seen all types of me. The me that was so broken, the me who is just amazing, who has a good heart, who loves others, who always vets for other people. Like even if me and somebody are beefing, I'm not the one to be like, well, she did me dirty, so don't kick it with her. I don't like her. Like, that has never been me. Never. And like, I just felt like so many people didn't really get a chance to get to know me because I took up for a lot of people. Like one incident, and I don't know if this girl remembers that. There's an incident when we went to a youth conference in Texas. And this guy really liked my friend. So he was like, hook me up, whatever, and she was shy, but she had a crush on him too. So unfortunately, it's like his ex was with us, and it was just kind of hard. But like, I'm not gonna stand in the way of two people who want to talk to each other. It wasn't like they were gonna get married or anything, you know? And so I'm like, okay, like, you like my friend, you and your ex are obviously over, because if you're comfortable with coming in here and flirting with her, then go ahead. So he needed a ride or something, so I went and picked him up and brought him back. So they were hanging out, kicking it, whatever. They ended up talking for like a few months, and it didn't work out. But like, basically, I was just having my friends back. And then the girl that we came with, she thought, I don't know what it was, but obviously a rumor came up that like, oh, I slept with her ex-man. And I was like, sis, I was bringing him for my friend because he wanted to see her, and who am I to not? Like, two people want to see each other. Sucks that like, that was your ex, yes. And me and that girl, like, we weren't really that close of friends, and it wasn't like we were trying to like throw it in her face or anything. But a rumor, mind you, I lived in Kansas at that time, maybe? No, South Dakota? I don't remember. But a rumor, dang it, I'm doing the wrong thing. A rumor started, well, she called somebody in Minnesota, was saying like, oh, I slept with her ex. And that rumor went out around, and I was like, when did we even have time to have sex? And so that was that. And then it was crazy because that rumor went as far as like the state she lived in. And one of my guy friends confronted me, and he was like, didn't you sleep with so-and-so? And I was like, what? No. And it was just a mess. But like, I never even debunked, well, I said no, but like, it's just crazy how rumors can get spread and like you don't even know about it. And I just let things go. Like, I feel like there's so many things in my past that I just like let go of and never said a word about, but people always still assume about me. Like, I mean, I'm not here to have somebody like me. I'm not here to make you guys like me anyway. If you don't like me, you just don't like me, and it's cool. But there's just like, there are just some things that are unsaid, like unsaid rules, and I feel like I don't have to like prove you wrong or be like, no, you're wrong, that's not how it was, because at the end of the day, like, my loyalty wasn't to y'all who assume stuff, you know what I mean? Those who assume stuff about me just wanted to know the worst and like believe in the worst, and just a whole lot of, like I said, that's all I can say. Thanks to goddamn Zoe, because he says that a lot. and I have to pee, but we're gonna hold this in until we finish. And then another rumor was, there was one time I was dating this guy, and one of my friends at the time got locked up for, what was it for? False identity or whatever. She like used my name and birthday and they figured it wasn't me. So she got locked up and she called me like, hey, this is the situation. I have money, but I don't have it on me. Can you find some money? So there was this other girl that I was friends with at the time. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And let's put on my contacts again, sorry. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And she said, don't tell anyone. So, so I called my boyfriend at the time and just asked him like, hey, do you have X amount of money? And he was just like wondering why. And I was like, I honestly can't tell you, but I just want to know if you do. And I was like, I'll pay you back. And he was like, what the heck, so curious as like why I needed money so urgently. And I was not going to tell. She told me don't tell anyone. So I'm like, okay. However I was going to get the money is how I was going to get it, but I wasn't going to tell the reason why. And the person who was going to loan it was going to get their money back anyways. You know what I mean? So my boyfriend at the time, thought that I was needing money to get an abortion. And I didn't even know that he was thinking that. But that was not the case. I just wanted to get my friend out of jail, because who wants to be in jail? Especially when you know you can get bailed out. So I ended up borrowing money from this other girl, and she gave us the money, and then we ended up giving her money back like the next day. And so that rumor circled around town, and I never heard it at all. And then I ended up moving to Omaha when I was younger, and I have an older cousin who she's just real, you know. She sees or hears anything, she addresses me straight away, like no BS, no hiding it, no nothing. So she was like, are you okay? Is there something you need to tell me? Because I moved out of Sioux Falls like at a really actually good time, because it was just a whole lot of BS. And so I was like, no, like, is there something I'm supposed to tell you? And she's like, well, people are saying like you moved out of Sioux Falls, moved to Nebraska so you can get an abortion. And I was like, abortion? How are you gonna have an abortion when you were never pregnant? So that rumor circled around for years, and still people like sometimes will still like question me about that, like, weren't you pregnant? Like, no, I have never been pregnant, never. And when I am, y'all gonna know, I'm like, having my baby, I'm having my baby, our baby, because it's gonna be me, my mans, okay, me, my mans, not just me. So that was very interesting. Like, there's honestly so much more that I never address, because I feel like I'm always silent, but I feel like sometimes you gotta break your silence, you know. And I guess this is me breaking mine and sharing with you guys a little bit about my life and stuff that's been said about me. I've never had a baby. I've never been pregnant. So it's a no for me. And when I am, I'm going to be so happy and so excited. Like, when I'm a mom, I'm going to be ready. Not saying anytime soon, because a girl finna chill out. But when I am, I'm gonna tell y'all, because I want, like, I'm ready for motherhood, but not until I have it my way. And that sounds a little selfish, but I don't care. Like, I want a husband, and I am so adamant about that. Like, I want a husband, and I want to have all his babies, and yeah, I just want to have my, I'm not gonna say perfect family, because I'm not perfect, but I want to have my family, and I want to have my girls and boys and twins and whatever. It's like whatever comes, you know. It's so hot now. But yeah, now joke, you left this here. I found it like by my TV stand, like in the back of it, because I think when we were filming that one day, that the videos I never went up because we lost the formatting. But I'm about to put on some of this blush. It's her favorite blush by Sleek. But yeah, so that's a little bit into my life. I shared a lot, and like I said, I'm not trying to make anybody else like me if they didn't already, but I want y'all to know, like, I've gone through stuff, I've dealt with stuff, I've been called names, I've been mistreated, I've been stupid, okay? Because I'm not gonna be sitting here like, I'm a victim, I don't know what I did. Like, there were times it was my fault, and I was just not mature enough to know at that time. I wasn't mature enough to understand. I didn't have the wisdom at that time. But looking back now as somebody who has spent time alone and had to regroup and refigure out who she is, like, yo, I was dumb at times, you know what I mean? But all in all, life is what you make it. Hannah Montana, quote her on that. But I don't know, this is me being open. Like my last video, I was saying, like, I wish I could be more open and not worry about someone not taking me serious. But all that stuff is a part of me. It's a part of my journey. It's part of my story. It's a part of how I got to where I am now, where I have so much more confidence and I can say no and not think twice about it. Where I can make decisions and know, like, I made those decisions and not my insecurities, you know? So yeah, that's it. Like, social media really makes me think a lot, and there'll be some times where I just want to share, but I know it's not the time or the platform. And like, I guess I'm getting to an age where, like, I'm okay with just being open, because at the end of the day, like, if it harms me or if someone sees me differently, then they were not for me, whether it be friends or relationships or whatever. Like, it wasn't meant to be, because hey, if you're gonna judge somebody off their path, someone who's honest and went through and grew from it, then it be like that sometimes, you know? But this is me. This is Guye B. Ooh, okay, what are we doing here? I don't know. Okay, Guye B doesn't look like a clown, so we're gonna bring that down. Where's my MAC lipstick? This is my, like, go-to to bring it all the way down. But yeah, so you guys, this is me. I've had a past. I have gone through some things, and I'm growing. I've grown, and I'm gonna keep growing, and nothing is gonna stop me from becoming the bomb woman I'm gonna continue being and learning and growing to be. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. What do you think of all the stuff that I said? Social media, people feeling some way about themselves, viewing themselves negatively just because of things they've done in the past or whatever. And another purple look, but y'all, I like it. What y'all think? The only thing I don't like is the lips, but it's cool because I'm gonna figure it out. But I don't think it looks that bad. But that's it, y'all. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love y'all. Peace and gravy. Bye.